I extend a warm and heartfelt welcome to each one of you. We are truly honored by your presence and grateful for the opportunity to gather here today for this significant occasion. Without any further delay, let us commence the proceedings.
Ladies and gentlemen, we begin this auspicious gathering with the recitation of Holy Quran.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم الحمد لله رب العالمين الرحمن الرحيم مالك يوم الدين إياك نعبد وإياك نستعين اهدنا الصراط المستقيم صراط الذين أنعمت عليهم غير المغضوب عليهم ولا الضالين.
Jazakallah. Now I requested everyone to please rise for the national anthem of Pakistan. Thank you. Please be seated.
Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, today's summit is being held under the theme Public Finance, Regulatory Transformation, and National Budget 2026-27, Shaping Pakistan's Economic Future.
This summit is part of ICMA International's continued commitment to promoting high level policy dialogue, professional insight, and institutional collaboration in Pakistan's finance and governance landscape.
The first edition of Future of Finance Summit, held in Lahore, proves to be a resounding success, attracting an impressive gathering of high profile dignitaries, regulators, corporate leaders, and representatives of leading national and international institutions.
The presence of distinguished guests, including Senator Muhammad Ishaq Dar, Deputy Prime Minister, Professor S.N. Iqbal, Federal Minister of Planning, Development and Special Initiatives, and Mr. Khurram Shehzad, Advisor to the Minister of Finance, added exceptional prestige and significance to the summit. Their participation, valuable insights, and engagement in meaningful discussion reflected the importance of platform created by ICMA International to discuss the evolving future of finance, economic governance, leadership, innovation, and Pakistan's development priorities.
The program today has been structured around three major themes: public finance, regulatory transformation, and national budget conference. Through keynote addresses, panel discussions, and high level addresses, we'll discuss the fiscal sustainability, public financial management, regulatory reforms, taxation, and the future direction of Pakistan's economy.
Ladies and gentlemen, To formally welcome our distinguished guests and participants, I am pleased to invite Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, President ICMA, for the welcome address.
Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui is a president of ICMA and a senior professional with extensive experience in accounting, taxation, and governance. He has remained actively engaged in professional leadership and institutional development. Sir, may I request you to kindly address the stage, please? Everyone, put your hands together for Sir Azim.
Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Honorable Chief Guest, Honorable Guest of Honors, distinguished speakers, respected panelists, representatives of Government of Pakistan, regulatory bodies, development partners, financial institutions, public sector organizations, corporate leaders, fellow members and students of ICMA Pakistan, ladies and gentlemen, Assalamu alaikum, and a very good morning. It is my great pleasure and honor to welcome you all to the Future of Finance Summit at Islamabad. ICMA International is organizing this summit under the important and timely theme of public finance, regulatory transformation, and national budget. Your presence today reflects the relevance and national importance of this dialogue. We are privileged to have with us eminent dignitaries, policymakers, regulators, development sector leaders, financial experts, business executives, professionals, and thought leaders who are directly contributing to Pakistan's economic direction and institutional progress. At the outset, on behalf of ICMA International and on my own behalf, I extend my profound gratitude to you all. Ladies and gentlemen, today the summit at Islamabad follows the remarkable success of the Future of Finance Summit held in Lahore in May. That brought together an impressive gathering of national and international dignitaries, including Senator Ishaq Dar, Federal Minister for Planning, Professor Ehsan Iqbal, and Federal Minister of Special Initiative, Mr. Khurram Shahzad, Advisor to the Finance Minister. Now, this continuity shows that ICMA International is not holding isolated events. Rather, we are developing a structured national conversation on future of finance, the role of professionals, and the reforms required to build a stronger economic foundation of Pakistan. Taking this opportunity to inform that the third edition of this summit will take place at Karachi in July as well. Ladies and gentlemen, this year is also very important for ICMA as we proudly celebrate 75 years of excellence, service, and professional contribution. For 7.5 decades, ICMA has served Pakistan with dedication, professionalism, and commitment. The history of ICMA is a history of resilience, progress, and national service. Our members have served and continue to serve in leading positions in industry, commerce, banking, public sector, regulators, academia, consulting, entrepreneurship, and international institutions. They have contributed to financial discipline, cost efficiency, strategic decision-making, organizational governance, and economic development. ICMA's 75 years journey is not only a celebration, it is a renewed commitment to the future as well. Ladies and gentlemen, the theme of today's summit is highly relevant to Pakistan's present economic condition, that is public financial management at the heart of national development. Similarly, fiscal sustainability is essential for long-term economic stability. At the same time, the role of regulators has become increasingly important as well. They are not merely enforcement bodies, but are also enablers of fair contribution, investors' protection, market confidence, innovation, and responsible growth. In today's environment, regulatory transformation must support ease of doing business, digitization, transparency, and accountability. ICMA International believes that the professional accounting bodies have an important role and responsibility beyond education and certification. We must contribute to policy dialogue. We must support better governance. We must promote financial literacy, ethical conduct, institutional transparency, and evidence-based decision-making. This is the reason why ICMA continues to engage with government institutions, regulators, business leaders, academia, international bodies, and professional organizations. I am confident that the insights shared today by our keynote speakers, guest of honor, chief guests, session chairpersons, and panelists will help generate valuable recommendations and a meaningful way forward. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would like to place on record my sincere appreciation for the valued support of our sponsors and partners, whose cooperation has made this summit possible and has strengthened this important national dialogue. We are especially grateful to our gold sponsor, Oil and Gas Development Company Limited, for its generous support. We also extend our sincere thanks to our silver sponsors, that is Central Depository Company of Pakistan, United Bank Limited, Exim Bank of Pakistan, Dowlands Industry Bank. Our appreciation is also due to our bronze sponsors, that are Fauji Cement Company Limited, National Radio Telecom Corporation, Bank Al Habib, Bank Al Falah, and Allied Bank Limited. We also acknowledge with gratitude our supporting partners, Institute of Knowledge and Leadership, Schaeffer & Co., and Vitality. We are also pleased to recognize ACCA as our knowledge partners for this summit. Ladies and gentlemen, before I conclude, I would like to place on record my sincere appreciation for Mr. Muhammad Yassin, Vice President of ICMA and Chairman of the organizing committee of the summit, and his entire team for their dedication and efforts in organizing this important summit. I also acknowledge the support of our council members, branch councils, secretariat, sponsors, partners, media representatives, and all those who have contributed to making this event possible. Finally, I also thank our members and students who are the strengths of ICMA. The 75-year journey of this institute has been made possible by the commitment of our members, the trust of our stakeholders, and the dedication of generations of professionals who served this institution with sincerity. With these words, I once again warmly welcome you all to the Future of Finance Summit 2026 at Islamabad. Thank you.
Ladies and gentlemen, now I invite Mr. Muhammad Yassin, the Vice President of ICMA, and the Chairman Organizing Committee to present the summit overview. Mr. Muhammad Yassin is a senior finance professional and the Vice President of ICMA. He has extensive experience in financial management, strategic planning, and business leadership. So I would like Mr. Yassin to come and join on the stage.
Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim. Honorable Chief Guests, respected guest of honors, members of ICMA, corporate leaders, government representatives, Assalamu alaikum. It's really a matter of honor for me to present the overview of the today's conference organized by ICMA International under the timely and highly relevant topic, public finance, regulatory transformation, and National Budget 26-27. I extend my sincere gratitude to our President, Mr. Azim Hussain Siddiqui, for his inspiring welcome address and for his continued guidance and leadership as well. I also warmly welcome all of our honorable guests, speakers, panelists, keynote speakers, partners, members, students of ICMA, and participants who have joined us today for this important national dialogue. Ladies and gentlemen, the purpose of today's summit is to bring together policymakers, regulators, financial experts, development partners, corporate leaders, and professional accountants on one platform to discuss the future direction of Pakistan's economy, particularly in context of public finance, regulatory reforms, and National Budget 26-27. We are living in a time when economic challenges are complex and interconnected. Fiscal sustainability, public sector efficiency, revenue generation, expenditure control, investment promotion, digital governance, regulatory coordination, and institutional accountability are all linked with one another. Any meaningful economic reform must therefore be comprehensive, practical, and supported by professional insight. This summit has been designed with that objective in mind. It is not merely a ceremonial gathering, it is a structured forum for informed discussion, professional recommendations, and meaningful engagement on the economic priorities of the country. Ladies and gentlemen, the first major area of discussion today is Pakistan's economic reform agenda and fiscal outlook. The keynote session will provide an important perspective on country's macroeconomic directions, reform priorities, fiscal challenges, and development opportunities in the present environment of Pakistan needs clarity of direction, consistency of policies, and credible implementation of reforms. The keynote session will help set the tone for the summit by placing our discussion within the broader economic and fiscal context. The participation of the World Bank country director in this session is of great significance. Development partners play an important role in supporting policy reforms, institutional strengthening, and sustainable economic development. Their perspective will add value, depth to our understanding of Pakistan's fiscal outlook and reform pathways. Ladies and gentlemen, the first panel discussion of the summit is on public financial management and fiscal sustainability. This is one of the most critical subjects for Pakistan economic future. Public financial management is the backbone of effective governance. It determines how public resources are planned, budgeted, released, spent, monitored, and reported as well. Strong public financial management improves transparency, reduces waste, enhances accountability, and ensure that national resources are directed towards real development outcomes. Fiscal sustainability, on the other hand, requires discipline, balance, and long term planning. Pakistan must continue to work on improving revenue mobilization, rationalizing expenditure, managing debt responsibly, strengthening public sector entities, and ensuring that subsidies and development spending produce measurable outcomes. This panel brings together a very distinguished group of experts from institutions directly connected with public finance and economic governance. The discussion will cover important questions just like how can Pakistan strengthen public financial management system, how can budget execution become more transparent and outcome based. These questions are extremely relevant because a country's economic credibility depends not only on how much revenue is collected, but also on how effectively it utilizes public resources. Ladies and gentlemen, the second important area of today's summit is the evolving role of regulators in public finance and economic governance. In the modern economy, regulators have a much broader role than traditional compliance enforcement. They are expected to protect public interest, ensure fair competition, support innovation, facilitate investment, strengthen market confidence, and improve institutional discipline. Regulations today must be smart, responsive, and reform oriented. Over regulation can discourage business activity, while weak regulation can create risk, distortion, and loss of public confidence. Therefore, the real challenge is to create a regulatory environment that is transparent, practicable, facilitative, and accountable as well. This panel will discuss how regulators can contribute to public finance, economic governance, and national competitiveness. It will also explore the role of regulatory bodies in promoting ease of doing business, fair market, procurement transparencies, technology development, investment facilitation, and public-private partnership. We are honored that this session include senior representation from institutions such as Securities and Exchange Commission of Pakistan, CCP, PPRA, Ignite, National Technology Fund, Public-Private Partnership Authority, and other leading organizations. This discussion is particularly important because Pakistan's economic revival depends heavily on the trust of the investors, the confidence of the businesses, and credibility of the institutions. Regulators can play a major role in creating this trust. Ladies and gentlemen, through this summit, ICMA International aim to contribute constructively to the post-budget discussion by highlighting practical recommendations from finance professionals, regulators, public sector experts, and corporate leaders. This summit also reflects ICMA International's continued commitment to professional contribution and policy dialogue. As a professional accounting body with a rich history of 75 years, ICMA has always believed that finance professionals must play an active role in strengthening institutions and improving economic decision making. Our members are serving in key positions across public sector organizations, private companies, banks, regulators, multinational corporations, academia, and international institutions. Their experience gives ICMA a strong professional base to contribute to national economic discussions. As we celebrate 75 years of ICMA, we are not only celebrating an institutional milestone, we are reaffirming our responsibility to the nation. We are renewing our commitment to excellence, ethics, governance, transparency, and professional service. The Islamabad Summit is also a continuation of success, our earlier Future Finance Summit held in Lahore. Building on that success, the Islamabad Summit has been planned with a more focused public finance and regulatory perspective, keeping in view the national importance of the federal budget and economic reform agenda. We are confident that today's session will produce valuable insights and recommendations that can be shared with relevant stakeholders for further consideration. Let me briefly highlight the main objective of this summit. First, to provide a meaningful platform for dialogue on Pakistan economic reform agenda and fiscal outlook. Second, to examine the challenges and opportunities in public finance management and fiscal sustainability. Third, to discuss the challenging role of regulators in improving economic governance, transparency, and market confidence. In organizing this summit, our intention has been to ensure that the discussion remains practical, relevant, and forward looking. We hope that the deliberations today will not be limited to identifying challenges only, but will also focus on solutions, reforms, and implementation. Pakistan has tremendous potential. We have a young population, strategic location, natural resources, entrepreneurial talent, growing technology sector, and a strong professional community. What we need is continuity of policy, institutional coordination, fiscal discipline, investment confidence, and better execution as well. The future of finance in Pakistan will depend on how effectively we combine professional expertise, policy vision, regulatory reforms, and technological innovation. Before I conclude, I would like to thank our honorable guests, keynote speakers, panelists, and session chairpersons for their valuable time and support. I also acknowledge the efforts of organizing committee, ICMA Secretariat, Islamabad team, sponsors, partners, media, and volunteers who have worked with dedication to make this summit possible. I am confident that this summit will generate meaningful discussion and will further strengthen ICMA International's role as a professional platform for economic thought leadership. With these words, I once again welcome all of you to the Future of Summit 2026 and look forward to productive and insightful deliberation throughout the day. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Mr. Muhammad Yassin, for presenting the overview of our today's summit and highlighting its important objective. Now, ladies and gentlemen, we begin the public finance segment of our today's summit. Our first keynote session is on public financial management reforms and the impact on fiscal sustainability. So for that, I am pleased to invite Mr. Akmal Minallah, Senior Financial Management Specialist, the World Bank, to deliver the keynote address.
Mr. Akmal Minallah is a senior financial management specialist with the World Bank Group based in Islamabad, Pakistan. He works at the forefront of public financial management reform and e-government initiatives across the Middle East, North Africa, Afghanistan, and Pakistan region. Sir, the floor is yours.
ठीक अस्सलाम वालेकुम जी the theme of my presentation is the tale of two cities, and it basically relates to comparison of two cities in a specific time in history of the world, which is France and United Kingdom. So, Tale of Two Cities was written by a novelist, Charles Dickens, in 1859. He did not, he was not an economist, but if one goes through the book, one really understands what fiscal management is. And if fiscal management does not translate into improving the lives of the citizens, why it matters to the citizens and the country. Um, at this particular point in time um, in this particular point in time in 1783, there were two monarchs, but one monarch was sent to guillotine, and the other monarch was as stable as ever. Um, there was a complete contrast between the two. And behind this contrast were very specific reasons. So, one important thing that was behind this contrast um, was something that happened in the Great Britain in 1688, and what we call it is the Glorious Revolution. And the Glorious Revolution actually determined how the fiscal management is going to be governed through the writ of the citizens. So it was for the first time in the Glorious Revolution that a Bill of Right was passed, and it contained the powers of an unelected king. And the parliament came together, and the parliament approved the Bill of Right, which firstly um, uh, disallowed suspension of laws by the king. So what would happen was that parliament would enact a law, and that law would be suspended by the king. Secondly, the king was not allowed to levy taxes. For the first time, the parliament was given the authority, or parliament gave itself the authority to levy taxes. And instead, parliament gave itself an authority to determine all the finances, and king was to get a specific stipend every year. Beyond that, the king had no authority to either levy tax or any economic judgment. And then the king did not have the power to maintain a standing army. So a Mutiny Act, which was part of the bill, was passed, in which the army from the king became subordinate to the parliament. And this was the first time that the existence of the military depended on the vote